Is this exercise bad for your knees? Is this one healthy for the shoulders? How about this one for the wrists? The answer is more complex than saying, yes, this is a good exercise, and no, this is a bad exercise. The answer lies in dosage. The difference between medicine and poison lies in the dosage. There are no good or bad movements, there is a good and bad dosage to have. The dosage should be completely individualized, and sometimes it should be zero, and then it can be worked up to later. If we do too much too soon, this is where we can get injured. This is an overdose. But there's also an underdose where we don't do enough and we don't get a benefit from the exercise or movement. Similarly to if we were bitten by a snake and we get antivenom, but only in quantities that can be measured in a magnifying glass, it probably wouldn't be enough to heal us from that snake bite. But if we got quantities in the range of gallons, that would be too much and kill us. We want to find that middle ground. This is the true antivenom. So to go back to our 3 beginning exercises, with the first one being the sissy squat, if the full variation causes any pain or you're not able to control the full range of motion, then we can do what I'm doing here by reducing the range of motion, lightly touching the knee to a platform out in front of you. And this way we can work with quality, we can work with proper volume, and we're not creating any pain in the joint, and we're able to actually make progress. So if the German hang is too intense in the shoulders, we can use a regression that mimics the German hang, but still gives us the same benefit that we would get from a normal German hang. If working in the full push-ups are too intense on the wrists, we can put the knees down as close as we need to the wrists and perform them at an easier intensity and still get benefit while slowly building up the position. In general, I find that people overdose on intensity and underdose on volume. So if we take the example of hanging, if you can only hang for 5 seconds on one arm and then you can't repeat it, you're not going to get enough volume on the one arm to actually get the benefit that you want. So instead, we should go back to 2 arm variations, work this up to a high level, and then eventually start working one arm once we can hold it for a longer period of time, getting the benefit that we want from it. When I was in university, we learned of a phenomenon where marathon runners were all of a sudden dying in the middle of the run. And at first, the doctors had no idea what was going on. And then they realized that it's something called exercise-induced hyponatremia. Now, if we break down this word, hypo means below normal level, and natremia means sodium levels in the blood. So they were dying because they didn't have enough sodium in their blood. Now, what caused these low sodium levels? Well, they were overhydrating before the marathon and during, and then exercising, further diluting their sodium levels. So they were drinking too much water, and that caused them to faint and some of them to die. So something that we deem as very healthy, for example, water, does have a dosage limit. So there is an upper limit and a lower limit where we die of dehydration or we die of overhydration. And then there's this middle golden part where we want to be, where we get the health benefits without either of the negative effects. The point of this story is not to be afraid of drinking water. That's the exact opposite of what I want to bring up. The point is to understand that there is an upper limit and a lower limit, and then that middle point that we want to have, even for something as healthy as water. So next time you think an exercise might be bad for you, instead understand this dose relationship. The question isn't, is it good or bad? The question is, at what intensity, at what volume, at what range of motion? These are the good questions to ask. So this concept of dose relationship is extremely important for our progress and our overall practice. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. I'll look at every single one, and if I can answer it with a good answer, then I will. Thank you for watching, and that's the session.